Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gas City, Indiana, and Mississinewa High School for tonight's volleyball matchup between the visiting Eastern Comets and the Mississinewa Lady Indians. Of course, with the COVID-19 restrictions, face masks being worn and 6 feet apart on the benches for both of these teams. The only time these girls do not have to wear face coverings is when they are doing extensive activities, as in being on the floor and playing. So when you see them without face masks, that would be the reason why. As you can see, the varsity girls out on the floor as well. They do have face coverings on. So again, welcome to Mississinewa. We're glad to be back with high school sports. It's been a very difficult 2020 year, to say the least, but nonetheless, athletics is back in action, and the Lady Indians are back on their home floor, ready to get the 2020 volleyball season underway. They had a scrimmage last week with no fans being able to attend. Of course, now, after this past weekend, the restriction has been lifted, and we are now able to have 25% capacity in the bleachers here at Mississinewa. So you will see 25% capacity. That is the restriction. No more than 25%, but just wanted to apologize for some of the difficulties that we've had getting things started, and of course, obviously during the scrimmage last week, having some difficulties getting that as well. So we've got it figured out, we think, so we appreciate all of you being patient with us and joining us here tonight. Of course, Mississinewa back in action. They take on Eastern tonight. The Lady Indians look to start off their season with a win. Obviously, Jody Havens and her girls have worked very hard since July 1st after the restriction of the COVID-19 pandemic sidelined most of athletics, and then July 1st, the IHSAA released that teams were able to begin practicing, and I'm sure since that point, Jody Havens has had her girls working very hard, along with Heather Swartz on the coaching staff as well. So very cool to see these girls back in action. I'm stoked, man. I'm very stoked to be back calling high school sports. So with that being said, we'll take a 2-minute timeout and come back and preview this matchup. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Well, welcome back to Gas City, Indiana, and Mississinewa High School for tonight's volleyball matchup between the visiting Eastern Lady Comets and the Mississinewa Lady Indians. Dalton Bishop with you here tonight. Glad to be back in the Tribe Sports Network booth calling Indian Athletics. This is going to be my 6th year behind the microphone of Indian Athletics, so very cool to have had the opportunity to call 6 years of Indian Athletics, starting here tonight with volleyball. Of course, the Lady Indians were in action last week with the scrimmage. And then here tonight they kick off their season opener against Eastern. The JV contest will be coming up first. Heather Swartz is the head coach of the Mississinewa Lady Indians Junior Varsity. I'll go ahead and give you the roster for the Junior Varsity girls for those of you at home who have not had the opportunity to see these girls. There are 5 freshmen and 4 sophomores on this Junior Varsity team. The freshmen would be number 2, Danny Sullivan, number 3, Avery Morale, number 4, Emily Reno, number 5, Erica Watson, and number 9, Lainey Sellers. The sophomores for the Lady Indians will be number 7, Carmen Swindle, number 11, Maddie McKee, number 14, Danielle Joseph, and number 15, Carissa Dunn. So the Lady Indians fairly young on the Junior Varsity squad, so very cool. Just wanted to let you guys know we had some technical difficulties getting this stream up and going, but we want to apologize for that and apologize for the mishaps last week as well with the scrimmage, but we've got that figured out, we believe. So we appreciate you joining us here tonight. Obviously, with the COVID-19 restrictions, 25% capacity in the bleachers. You will see very limited fans in the gymnasium here. When you look down at both of these teams' benches, you will see that the benches are staggered to where they are 6 feet apart. And there will be face coverings on all of the girls who are on the bench. And the girls who are on the floors, they will not have face coverings because that is not a restriction. They are able to play without a face covering due to extensive exercise. But nonetheless, we are very thankful that the IHSAA and Commissioner Bobby Cox has found a way for these high school athletes to get back and playing. So we're very excited. We will take a 2-minute timeout, come back, and get this junior varsity volleyball matchup underway. Again, here tonight, it is the Eastern Lady Comets and the Mississinewa Lady Indians. That comes up next. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. So welcome back to Mississinewa High School as we get set to kick off tonight's volleyball matchup between the Eastern Lady Comets and the Mississinewa Lady Indians. Of course, Eastern in the road green uniforms trimmed in gold. Mississinewa in the home red trimmed with white. The starters for the Lady Indians will be number 3, Avery Morale. Number 11, Maddie McKee. Number 9, Eleni Sellers. Number 7, Carmen Swindle. And number 4, Emily Reno. So now we've got the substitution straightened out. Danny Sullivan has entered the Lady Indian lineup for Carissa Dunn, and here we go. Volleyball 2020 underway. Here is the set, and a point going to go to the Lady Comets. Go ahead and apologize to you guys now. I'm not very good at announcing volleyball. Not very familiar with the terms, but I'll give it my best shot. Lady Comets up 2-0 here in the first set. And the serve. And right now, the Lady Comets have the momentum here in this first set, leading 3-0. Serving for the Lady Comets. So number 11, Shelby Rice. She is the libero. And Eastern just finding all the holes in this Lady Indians defense right now, and they've dropped 4 of them in. They lead 4-0. Again, we want to thank all of you for joining us here this evening. Of course, COVID-19 has put a restriction on all of the athletics throughout the state of Indiana, allowing 25% capacity in the bleachers here for volleyball. As Eastern with a 6-0 lead, and now going to make it 7-0. Here comes the serve from Rice. There's a bump. Now Swindle will knock it over the net. And nice job by Swindle to block the spike from the Lady Comets, and the Lady Indians get on the board. That will take Emily Reno back. She will serve the ball for the Lady Indians. Here comes the serve, and this one gonna drop in. And that's going to be a point. That one was right on the far corner. And I'm not going to lie to you, I thought that one was going to go out as well as the Lady Comets did as well. But a nice placement there for Reno, and she dropped it in. The Lady Indians back-to-back points. And Swindle finds a hole in the Lady Comet defense. It is 7-3. Eastern with the lead, with the Lady Indians starting to gain some momentum. The serve from Reno, flying over the net. And just the Lady Indians just look so sluggish right now. They're just standing around. It's like they don't want to move their feet, and Eastern is just eating them alive right now. Eight to 3, Eastern with the lead. There's a bump, a set, and now a little bit of confusion, and McKee knocks it over the net for the Lady Indians. So Carissa Dunn checks in for Mississinewa, and Carmen Swindle will go back to serve. Here it is, over the net, a bump. A little set over the net. Dunn will set it for Morale. She knocked it over the net, and the Lady Indians going to get a point. 8-5 here in set number 1. Eastern with the lead over the Lady Indians. Just when you think Mississinewa will gain a little bit of momentum, Eastern comes fighting right back and takes over. Erica Watson will check in for the first time tonight for the Lady Indians. Here's Reno. And McKee will knock it over the net. And this one's going to drop in for a Lady Indian point. Going back to serve for Ole Miss will be the freshman Lainey Sellers, getting her first opportunity of the 2020 volleyball season. And that one was a pretty nice serve, and now Eastern fighting to get it over the net, and just not enough on that set there by Morale, and it drops on this side of the net, and Eastern going to get another point. So 10-6. Eastern. Don't forget, coming up on Friday night, the Mississinewa Indians football team will be in action right here in Gas City at Charlie Fisher Field. They will take on Pendleton Heights. We will have the coverage for you on the Tribe Sports Network. So the Lady Indians going to get a point on a missed serve. So Maddie McKee, sophomore, will go back to serve for the Lady Indians. And here comes the serve from McKee. This one a knuckleball. And it's going to be a point for the Lady Indians. Nice, a beautiful serve there from McKee. And again, Mississinewa has battled back after being down 5-0. Now it's 10-8. Eastern with the lead. Lady Indians trail by 2, but they are battling back. And Carissa Dunn got into the net a little bit there, and that's going to give the point to Eastern. It'll be 11-8. Checking in for the Lady Comets will be number 24, Lauren Dannenfelser. She is a sophomore. She will serve it across the net. There's a bump. And now Reno with just nowhere to go, and a nice job there by Eastern to confuse the Lady Indians. And now it is 12-8. And again, just want to remind all of you watching at home, COVID-19 restriction allows 25% capacity in the grandstands. Face coverings are mandatory. And on the benches, they are staggered, and these girls are sitting 6 feet apart. Face coverings while on the bench. We are in set number 1 here of the 2020 IHSAA Girls Volleyball Junior Varsity season. Eastern leading the first set 15-8. And now 15-9 as the Lady Indians get a point there. Carmen Swindle up off the bench, and she will replace Erica Watson. Carissa Dunn back to serve. She eyes and flies it across the net. And this one going to be an ace for Ole Miss. (15-10). And the serve. Again, back-to-back serves from Dunn and back-to-back points for Ole Miss. 15-11, the Lady Indians continue to chip away. Nice little rally going on here between both of these teams, and right into the net. Avery Morale trying to get the ball over the net for Ole Miss, and just not enough oomph under that one. And Danny Sullivan will check in for the Lady Indians. Carissa Dunn will take a break. We are in set number 1 of the junior varsity contest. And here is McKee, a set from Reno, and now just a little bit of confusion there again for Ole Miss. And like I said, just when Mississinewa starts to get a little bit of momentum, Eastern knocks it down, and Ole Miss struggling again to get in a rhythm. Mississinewa just looks very unorganized here to start. Eastern up 8, 20-12 here in set number 1 of the junior varsity contest. Don't forget the varsity matchup will be coming up following the end of this match. If I'm correct, I believe the junior varsity, it is the first to win 2 sets, decides the winner of the match. And so far, it looks like it's going to be all Eastern right now as they lead 21-12. And that one is a little too hard. It sails out, as you can hear from the Lady Indian bench, letting their teammates know that one was hit a little too hard. And Emily Reno going back for her second opportunity to serve here in this one. (21-14). See if Ole Miss can get on a rally here. Make Eastern have to work for it. (22-14) Eastern with the lead. Ole Miss just looking very, very unorganized and very confused. And a nice dig there from Emily Reno, laying on the floor to save that one. But just all Eastern right now. Gotta love the effort from some of these girls on Ole Miss, but the others, there's just not enough communication, or the girls just are out of energy or something, but they do not look very organized right now, and it's going to be 24-14, and this is the set point for this set. If Eastern scores here, they win the first set. Here's the serve over the net. And a bump. And now Swindle going to knock it over the net. That one blocked, but it went out. And Ole Miss going to have one final chance. They're going to have to score 10 consecutive to win this one, which is hard to do. And here's Sellers. She's going to serve it over the net. The set. And the spike, and it's blocked. McKee there. Now Swindle and Dunn will knock it over. And this one's going to be in. And Mississinewa stays alive here in set number 1. (24-16). Again, this is opening night of the 2020 IHSAA girls volleyball season. So now confusion. So a little bit of confusion at the scores table. Okay, so there was a confusion on who was supposed to be serving there. Sellers went back to serve, and it's actually supposed to be number 7, Carmen Swindle. So Swindle back to serve, and here it is, and this one into the net. And the first set will go to the Eastern Lady Comets. So the first set, Eastern 25, Mississinewa 16. In set number 1, we'll be back with set number 2 in 1 minute. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School as we get set for set number 2. Eastern taking set 1 of the junior varsity contest, 25-16. On the floor for Ole Miss is number 4, Emily Reno. Number 7, Carmen Swindle. Number 2, Danny Sullivan. Number 11, Maddie McKee. Number 9, Lainey Sellers. And number 3, Avery Morale. So Reno will kick things off here in set number 2, and this one's a serve right into the net, and it's going to be a point for the Lady Comets. Don't forget, coming up Friday night, we kick off Friday Night Lights with the Mississinewa Indians football team, the defending 2019 sectional champs in Class 4A. They will kick off the 2020 IHSAA football season on Friday against Pendleton Heights. Of course, Mississinewa with a new head football coach, Coach Kyle Burrish, will be taking over the helm of the Indians. Of course, we want to say thank you to Coach Kurt Funk for all he did for the Mississinewa community over the last 10 years that he was here, and what a great tenure he had while at Mississinewa with 2 sectional championships under his belt. He is now down at Fishers High School, so we want to wish Coach Funk the best of luck down there. Just wanted to let you guys know the Indians will be in action Friday night taking on Pendleton Heights, and we'll have the coverage for you right here on the Tribe Sports Network. Pre-game will start, I believe, at 6:30. So right now, Mississinewa leading this one 3-2. Laney Sellers going back to serve for Ole Miss. And the serve. Here's a set. And Carissa Dunn there to knock it down, and then the Lady Indians looking much better here in set number 2. So far, they lead this one 4-2. It is the best of 3 in the junior varsity matchup. Once we get to the varsity matchup, it will be the best of 5, but the best of 3 here in junior varsity, and Eastern leads 1-0. That one a little too strong from Dunn. And Eastern has tied it up at 4-4. Maddie McKee will go back to serve. Ole Miss back to the lead at 6-4, and McKee serves this one over the net. And just like, now it's very interesting to watch here in this junior varsity matchup, because it seems like every time Ole Miss will get something going, Eastern will spoil it, and then it seems like every time they spoil it, it's just off of something that should be fairly routine for Ole Miss to just be able to be there, but somehow, some way, Eastern finds a way to put the ball where there is no one for Ole Miss. 7-5, Ole Miss with the lead. Carissa Dunn back to serve. This one a line drive, and this one went under the net, so it's going to go to Eastern. They get another point. It is 7-6. And Mississinewa and Eastern had a nice little rally going there before Eastern was able to get a point, and it's tied at 7. But Ole Miss looking much better here in set number 2. So Coach Heather Schwartz got to be a lot happier than she was in set 1. Don't forget, the varsity matchup will be coming up right after this. Unless Ole Miss is able to win this set, then we will go to the third and final set. Avery Morrell back to serve, and this one right into the net. And it's going to be 9-8 Eastern with the lead. And there's an ace for the Lady Comets. And it is now 10-8 Eastern. This one is, again, continue to remind everyone who's watching at home, with the COVID-19 restrictions, we're only allowed to have 25% capacity in the bleachers. So you'll have to, if you plan on coming out and supporting the Lady Indians volleyball team at their next home match, or if you're at home coming to watch the varsity match, you better get out here, and you better get here soon, because once we reach 25% capacity, there will be no one else allowed in to support these girls, whether you're coming for Eastern or Mississinewa. 25% is all we are allowed to have here in the gymnasium. Also, we want to apologize for the difficulties that we had last week during the scrimmage, and that we had getting things going here tonight, but we think that we have resolved those issues, and we are ready to go as we have kicked off the 2020 IHSAA girls volleyball season in a timeout here. It is 13-9 Eastern, and Heather Swartz calls a timeout, and we will do the same. Right now, Eastern up 1-0, and they lead set number 2, 13-9. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School. We are in set number 2 of the junior varsity matchup. And Sullivan. And good effort from Mississinewa. Just unfortunately, right now, Eastern's just getting the best of Ole Miss, and these girls got to keep battling. It seems like so far Mississinewa just hasn't been placed in the right positions. Their placement on where they are on the floor just hasn't been very good, it seems. And thankfully there, Avery Morrell did not touch that one. That one was hit way too hard and it went out. And Carissa Dunn will return for Mississinewa, but going back to serve will be number 7, Carmen Swindle. This one over the net. Ole Miss tries to rally back down 5, and now they've cut it to being only down 4 at 15-11. And Swindle serves it over the net. And now 15-12. Swindle will serve again. Mississinewa has gotten consecutive points, but this one not enough, but good effort from Maddie McKee to try to knock it over the net. It's 16-12, of course. Maddie trying to follow in the footsteps of her sister Riley, who was an outstanding athlete at Mississinewa. Erica Watson enters the lineup for Mississinewa. (17-12), and Reno tried to dig that one but was unable to get to it in time, and it's 18-12. And again, Mississinewa gets something going, and Eastern spoils the party. And another ace for Eastern. 19-12 here in set number 2. This one's just going to barely float over the net, and Carissa Dunn able to save it. Now McKee with a bump, and now a set, and Dunn with the spike, but it goes into the net, and another Comet point. Here's the set from Dunn, and now Watson right into the net. (21-12). There was Watson to try to dig it, but the Lady Indians just look very sluggish, and they're not moving very well tonight. And Eastern's just getting the best of them. It's 22-12 Eastern after the Lady Indians had cut it to 4. Here's the bump and a set, and now McKee will knock it over the net for Ole Miss, and now we got a rally going. And there again, Watson, you got to love the effort. She tried to dig that one, and she's just wrong place, wrong time, but it's not for the lack of effort. (23-12) is the advantage for the Eastern Lady Comets. The serve and an ace again. 24-12. Eastern with the lead as they won set number 1, 25-16, and it looks like they will go on and win set number 2 and win the match, unless something drastically changes here for Ole Miss. And we got a rally going, and here is Eastern, and that one's going to drop on the Lady Indian side of the net. And they lose set number 2, 25-12. So Eastern will defeat the JV Lady Indians set number 1, 25-16, and win set number 2, 25-12, and they win this match 2-0 and sweep the Lady Indians in your junior varsity contest. We will take a short break, and we'll come back with the varsity pregame show and kick off the 2020 IHSAA volleyball season for the varsity teams. We do that in just a few moments. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. On March 12, 2020, the COVID-19 global pandemic hit the sports world with a bang. The NCAA canceled the NCAA March Madness tournament for both men's and women's basketball. The cancellation came just shortly after the Big East tournament game between St. John's and Creighton was canceled at the halftime break. Shortly after, the NCAA announced they were canceling all winter and spring sports. One day later, on March 13th, the IHSAA and Commissioner Bobby Cox canceled the remainder of the 2020 boys basketball state tournament. On April 2nd, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb announced the closure of all K-12 schools throughout the state of Indiana for the remainder of the school year. That then led to the IHSAA canceling the 2020 spring sports season. On July 1st, fall sports athletes were given hope after the IHSAA allowed teams to return to practice, and ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, that hope lives in these girls. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gas City, Indiana and Mississinewa High School for tonight's girls volleyball matchup between the visiting Eastern Lady Comets and the Mississinewa Lady Indians. Dalton Bishop with you here tonight. Good to be back calling high school athletics, and as you heard in the open, the COVID-19 global pandemic has caused a lot of sadness, devastation, frustration, whatever you want to call it, throughout the country. And I know for the 2020 spring athletes, it has to be devastating not being able to play your senior year in spring sports. But, you know, it's devastating. It's very, very devastating. And you know what? We're just thankful to be back to high school sports, and it's very good to see that we're able to have 25% capacity in the bleachers, and good to see that these girls are excited to play. And I know it's a different atmosphere, but you can tell that these girls are ready and they're excited. You know, both sides, for Eastern and Mississinewa, both sides just fired up and ready to kick off the 2020 IHSAA fall sports season. And the junior varsity match just completed, and Eastern was the winner 2-0, sweeping the Lady Indians, winning set 1 25-16 and winning set 2 25-12. But on July 1st, as I said, these teams were able to return to practice, and I know Jody Havens has got these Lady Indians fired up and ready to go. You know, coming into tonight, you've got a bunch of seniors, quite a few juniors, and just a couple of sophomores. And, you know, this is a very senior-led team for Ole Miss. They are led by Dara Watson, Katie Hosier, Kylie Smalley, and Casey Sands. Those are your seniors who are going to be your team leaders, who are leading the charge for Ole Miss. Then you got juniors like Sophie Corey, Jazzy Nicholson, Mia Katie, who actually we're going to talk about Mia here in just a second. Megan Stanley, a junior, Carly Bolser, a junior, and then you got sophomores Mackenzie Austin and Danielle Joseph. And what a good-looking team Mississinewa has here, and a very promising season that they could have coming up here in 2020. And like I said, Mia Katie, a junior, we're going to talk about her. She is out of the lineup tonight. She will not get a play. She was injured at some point in the summer, I believe, playing summer basketball. And I'm just going off the record. I'm not 100% sure on how she got injured. I know that she plays AAU basketball, and I'm assuming that that's how she got hurt. I believe she fractured her foot or her ankle, or it's a foot injury of some sort. But that is keeping her out of the lineup here tonight. So Mia Katie will not get a play in the season opener here tonight for Mississinewa. But nonetheless, the Lady Indians are ready to go, and it's good to see Kylie Smalley back in a Lady Indians volleyball uniform after she had taken a couple of years off. But good to see her back and playing, and it's good to see Sophie Corey back for her junior year. She's going to be your libero for the Lady Indians. What a great sophomore year she had. Also, Daryl Watson, who had a very, very stellar year as a junior last year, so she's coming in to her senior year looking to build on that. Also, Carly Bolser. I mean, I can just go on and on down the list, and what a great volleyball team this Lady Indians team was a season ago. And I know that they're ready and they're hungry, and Jody Havens is ready to kick off the season here tonight. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. High school sports is back. It's restricted, but we're back. I mean, I'm excited. I know I've repeated myself, but, man, things were not looking good April 2nd. After spring sports were canceled and then graduation got moved back, and come July 1st, everything took a turn, and it went for a turn for the best because we're able to continue with sports here in the fall. And volleyball tonight. I know boys tennis is in action tonight as well. I know the football team will be in action on Friday night as they welcome Pendleton Heights to town. I know we've got a few other events coming up later on this week. I'll have to check my calendar for that, but fall sports is back after the cancellation of spring sports. What a weird year 2020 has been. The first time ever in the history of the NCAA, March Madness was canceled due to this global pandemic that we were having. Spring sports being canceled for high school athletes, graduation being moved back, and it's just been a difficult year for everybody. And we had I don't want to say a state shutdown, but we had quite a few restrictions that happened, and then essential workers. Thank you to all the essential workers, and I mean even still today that go to work every day, and the frontline workers, the police departments, the emergency personnel, everyone who spends a lot of time making things happen for this country. So thank you to all of the essential workers who are continuing to work, and thoughts and prayers to those who are battling with COVID-19 difficulties. And 2020's been an odd year, but it is just very awesome to see that high school sports is back, and the NBA and the MLB, and just good to see sports back in general, because that means, from my standpoint, that means we're headed back in the right direction to get things back to normal. And for right now, this is the new normal. COVID-19, we're only allowed 25% capacity in the bleachers here. So if you want to attend a volleyball match, you're going to have to get here fairly early, I would say. As I said, we're restricted to 25% capacity in the bleachers. The girls who aren't doing extensive activity have to wear face coverings, as well as us up here in the booth. We have to wear face coverings as well. The officials and the scores table, they have to wear face coverings. It is mandatory throughout the state that you wear a face covering. So, we want to thank all of you who have been patient with us as we've been trying to work out the beginning of the season bugs with our streaming technology. Obviously, there's trial and error, and we're trying our best to provide for you, the fans, to be able to watch Indian athletics. And we're thankful that you have joined us here tonight, and we hope that you continue to join us throughout the season. And make sure that you're staying tuned to mcscathletics.com for all of the latest information on what's going on with Mississinewa High School athletics, the restrictions and guidelines that we have to follow due to the CDC guidelines and the IHSAA. So make sure that you stay tuned to mcscathletics.com for all of the latest information on Mississinewa High School athletics. I believe 25% capacity inside the gymnasium. I believe 50% capacity come Friday night for Friday Night Lights and the season opener for the Mississinewa football team. But again, just we're so thankful to be back with high school sports, and it's unbelievable. 2020 has been an unbelievable year, and very difficult and trying year for everyone, but high school sports is back. You can't complain. You just can't complain. Well, anyway, we will take a 2-minute timeout, come back and preview the matchup, tonight's volleyball matchup between Eastern and Mississinewa. We do that in 2 minutes. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network.
comments, and your Mississinewa Indians. Sportsmanship is a top priority in CSC and Mississinewa High School. Your admission to this athletic event entitles you to enjoy an exhibition of skills development in student athletes. Please give these athletes your encouragement and support. Efforts to unlock talents of all participants is greatly appreciated. Bullying, taunting, or intimidating the officials, coaches, and referees is unacceptable and unsportsmanlike. This time, I'd ask everyone to please rise and remove all hats as we honor America with a play of our national anthem. Officials for tonight, Mr. Bill Poe and Mr. Pat Nezovich. Now for the lineups for both teams. First, for the Eastern Lady Comets, non-starters available for substitution. Number 3, Adam Downey. Number 21, Ian McKnight. Number 10, Jen O. Now for the starters. Libero player, number 1, McKenna Titus. Number 4, Jaylee Seacrease. Number 9, Lorelai Evans. Number 15, Trista Rice. Number 20, Emma Sackett. Number 22, Ariana Turner. Number 34, I missed that here, so Kate Harrison, I'm sorry, I apologize. I overlooked you, Kate. Head coach for Eastern is Missy Mack. Now, for the Mississinewa Indians. Non-starters available for substitution. Number 1, Katie Hosier. Number 3, Kylie Small. Number 8, Kinsey Foster. Number 10, Ian Hayden. Starters, libero player. Number 2, Sophie Corey. Number 5, Jazzy Nicholson. Number 7, Dara Watson. Number 9, Casey Sands. Number 11, Megan Stanley. Number 12, Harley Bolser. Number 14, Daniela Joseph. Coach for the Lady Indians, Jody Havens.
So welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Mississinewa High School for tonight's volleyball matchup between the Eastern Lady Comets and the Mississinewa Lady Indians. Just moments away from getting things underway. Of course, in the junior varsity matchup, the Lady Indians lost that one 2-0, losing the first set 25-16 and losing the second set 25-12. So the IHSAA varsity volleyball season is set to kick off here tonight. As again, officials just going through and checking, making sure that everyone who's supposed to be on the floor is on the floor. So, here we go. The 2020 IHSAA Girls Volleyball Varsity season is underway. Here we go. Stanley the spike, and now we're rallying. Here is a near dig by Sophie Corey, and she comes up just short of that one. One nothing Eastern. Here's the bump. And Stanley two to nothing now Eastern. Sandlin the serve. Here's the bump. And a set. And Bolser a spike, and it drops in for a Lady Indian point. 2-1. Ole Miss. Casey Sands will get her first opportunity of the 2020 season to serve. On the floor for Ole Miss is Sands wearing number 9, Corey wearing number 2, Watson number 7, number 11, Megan Stanley, number 12, Carly Bolser, and number 5, Jazzy Nicholson, and Eastern with their third point of the match. We are in set number 1. It's the best of 5 here in the varsity matchup. Set to serve for Eastern will be number 20, Trista Rice. Rice will serve it. Here's the bump from Watson. This one over the net. Now Stanley. Nicholson will set. Bolser the spike and a score again. 3-2. Megan Stanley back to serve for Ole Miss, who is in their home white unis trimmed in red. Here's a spike. Sands, and now Nicholson will set it for Watson, and she ran into the net. Not quite sure what that call was. Again, I'm very unfamiliar with the calls in volleyball. Nonetheless, it is 3-3. And then Eastern scores on that one. It'll be 4-3, and back to serve for the Lady Comets will be number 9, Lori Lee Evans. This one into the net, and we're tied at 4. The junior Carly Bolser will go back to serve, and here it is, a line drive. And Joseph knocks it over the net for a Lady Indian point. Ole Miss looking very stout so far here in set number 1. Here's Carly. Will serve it. Nice little floating serve over the net. Here comes the spike and a dig for Bolster. Now Watson will knock it over the net. Now they are rallying. Here's Nicholson. And Bolster and Joseph run into each other. A little bit of miscommunication there. Sophie Corey will check in, and Carly Bolster will sit down. So it's Corey, Stanley, Sands, Nicholson, Watson, and Joseph on the floor for Ole Miss. Here is Nicholson. Now Stanley to knock it over the net for Ole Miss. She does. Now the team's rallying. Here's Nicholson. And then Watson knocking it over the net. Both of these teams going at it. You got to love the effort. Here's a block for Joseph. And what a great rally they got going on here. And this one out, and a great effort by Ole Miss. They started rallying back and forth. Nicholson, great communication with Watson. And that results in a Lady Indian point. They lead 6-5 here in set number 1. Here's Nicholson to serve. Eyes and flies it over the net. And this is going to be an ace. Ole Miss leading 7-5. Once again, want to thank all of you for joining us here this evening. Here's Nicholson's serve over the net. Here's a set and a spike. And this one going to be in for a point for the Lady Comets. I want to say thank you to Brooks Holloway for his hard work getting things set up and running for Tribe TV. I do not like his mask, though. He's a terrible Yankees fan. Here's a point for Eastern. Back on the baseball topic again. Brooks Holloway is a terrible, terrible Yankees fan. So if you ever have the opportunity, let him have it. Let him know how terrible the Yankees are. Here's a spike from Alston and a dig, a set. And now Corey keeps it alive, and Watson, a nice effort to keep it alive here for Ole Miss. And here's Stanley. Now a set from Nicholson, and now Austin will spike it and score. Ole Miss leading 8-7. Darryl Watson with a nice effort. Ball going out of play, and Watson saved it, knocked it over the net, and Austin with a nice spike and a score there. Now Watson to serve. This one a line drive. Here's the set. Stanley knocking it over the net for Ole Miss. This one knocked out. 9-7. Here's Watson. The serve. Nicholson knocks it over the net. 9-7. Austin with a spike, and this one a little too hard, out of bounds. And that is a point for the Lady Comets. 9-8. Here comes the serve over the net. Stanley, spike just barely skates over the net and drops in for a Lady Indian point. 10-8, Ole Miss with the lead. Sophie Corey, the libero player, will be back to serve. There comes the serve. Austin there to block it and score for Ole Miss. It's nice having Mackenzie Austin, who's about 5'10", 5'11", and Carly Bolster, who's about 6 foot to 6'1", up there on the front line to block. Here's Corey. Serve way too strong and out of bounds. A point goes to the Lady Comets. Here's Watson's. Here's the set from Nicholson, a spike from Austin, and now a block from Austin and Bolster. The Twin Towers down low, and they score. Ole Miss. Like I was just talking about, bragging about Austin and Bolster down there on that front line, and a nice block there, and Ole Miss scores. It is 12-10. Eastern not going away. I'm telling you what, this is a very good Eastern program. They made the JV Lady Indians just look all out of sorts. The Lady Comets winning the JV matchup 2-0, winning the first set 25-16, winning the second set 25-12. Now the varsity team trying to take care of business as well. But Ole Miss right now with a 2-point advantage at 12-10. And here's Nicholson. Stanley knocks it over the net. Now we're rallying back and forth. Here's a dig for Sands, a set from Nicholson, and a spike. And a save by Eastern. Now Watson to Corey. Now Nicholson will knock it over the net. Now we're rallying again, back and forth. And here's a near block, and Corey with a dig, a set. Bolster a block. Corey saves it. Now a spike and a score for Eastern. My, oh my, that was fun to watch. Both of these teams went back and forth, and Eastern gets the better half this time. 12-11. Here's Nicholson, Bolster. And Eastern not going away. I'm telling you what, Eastern flat battles. I'll tell you, I like this Eastern program, this volleyball program from Eastern. They flat get after it. Now Megan Stanley. Back to serve for Ole Miss. Here's the serve over the net. Now Watson. Nicholson the set. Bolser will just try to tip it over the net. And right there to block it was number 9, Laura Lee Evans. One of 2 seniors on that Eastern program. Ariana Turner, the other senior. Here is the serve from Evans. Now Nicholson, and now Watson will knock it over the net for Ole Miss. Evans saves it for the Comets. Knocking it over the net was Sandlin, and Ole Miss will score there. 14-12. Checking in for Ole Miss will be number 14, Danielle Joseph. Bolser back to serve. This one a line drive. A near block, and I believe they got Joseph for running into the net, and that will be a point for the Lady Comets. It's 14-13. Back and forth here in this one. We're in set number 1 of the best of 5. The libero, number 1, McKenna Titus, serves for Eastern, and Watson with a spike and a score. For Ole Miss, it is 15-13. Jazzy Nicholson back to serve. This one out. 16-13. No, they gave the point that time to Eastern, so it's 15-14. Now Watson, and Nicholson saves it, and Watson gets it back over the net. Back and forth as a rally they go. And Nicholson almost knocked it in that open hole. 15-15. Here's Austin, a spike, and a score for Ole Miss. 16-15. Dara Watson back to serve. Here it is. This one went out. Here's the set from Nicholson, and now Joseph will knock it over. Now we're rallying. Here's a nice dig from Nicholson, and then Austin knocks it over the net, and a score for Ole Miss. A nice dig from Jazzy Nicholson. Back after the timeout here at Mississinewa High School. Sophie Corey to serve. Lady Indians leading 18-16, and they're going to get Bull Surfer reaching over the net. Here is Austin. She tried to slam a jam that one, and it went right into the net. Now we're tied at 18. Here's the serve. The bump. Nicholson knocks it over the net. Eastern taking the lead, 20-18. Nice dig from Nicholson, and then Bolser gets it over, but it's out. 21-18. And Ole Miss wants a timeout. 21-18, Eastern with a 3-point lead in set number one. We will step aside, take a 30-second timeout, and come back. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back after the timeout. See what the Lady Indians have out of the timeout here. Here's Nicholson. And then Stanley knocking it over the net, and the Lady Indians are going to score on that one. (21-19). Here's Casey Sands to serve. This one dropping in a point. (21-20). Here's Sands to serve. Nicholson sets. And Bolser drops it in a point. We're tied at 21. Looks like the timeout is benefiting Ole Miss right now. 21-21, and here is Sands to serve right into the net. 22-21 Eastern. Here's Corey. And now Stanley will barely get it over the net. Corey. Stanley a spike, and it's blocked. And a point for the Comets. It's 23-21. Ole Miss on their heels now. Ole Miss is going to have to tighten up here. Here's Watson, and 24-21. Eastern 1 point away from winning the first set. Here's the serve. Into the net. It's 24-22. Megan Stanley back to serve. Here's Stanley. And a point for Ole Miss. Here we go. 24-23. And Ole Miss ties it up on the serve from Stanley. It's 24-24. And Eastern calls a timeout. 24-24 is the score. We'll take a 30-second timeout, come back, see who wins set number 1. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School. We're tied at 24. Stanley to serve set number 1. Who will win it? Here's Stanley and the serve. And here is Nicholson, and now Corey will knock it over the net. Here comes a spike and a score, and Eastern scores. It's 25-24. In volleyball, you got to win by 2. Ole Miss still with a chance. Here's Sands, Nicholson, and now Bolser. Nice save from Watson. Now we're rallying back and forth. Not sure what that means. I think they got somebody from running into the net. But anyway, Eastern will win set number 1, 26-24. We'll be back with set number 2 in 1 minute. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School for set number 2. Ole Miss losing that first set 26-24. Coming up this Friday night, it is Mississinewa in Pendleton Heights for the football matchup. We'll have that live for you on the Tribe Sports Network. Pre-games kicks off at 6:30 on Friday night. Here we go. Set number 2 underway. And Ole Miss scores there. It's 1-0. Hosier will serve. They were rallying back and forth, and Stanley took one right off the face. 1-1. If you are tuned in watching, go ahead and send us a tweet at DaltonBishop00 on Twitter. Let us know that you're watching. We appreciate your support. Watson. Two to 1. Eastern. Back to serve. Emma Sandlin. The serve. And now Stanley will knock it over the net, but it's going to be out. Three to 1.
Q's asking me about streaming.
Here is a nice dig from Corey, and now a spike from Stanley, and a point for Ole Miss. 3 to 2. Again, if you are tuned in watching us live, make sure you send us a tweet at DaltonBishop00 and at MCSC Athletics. Tweet your seat. 3 to 2. Ole Miss trailing by 1, and now tying it up on that. It's 3 to 3. Boys tennis in action tonight at Bluffton. Best of luck to them as well. Take a look at what's coming up later on this week. Don't forget soccer in action tomorrow night. Tennis will be in action on Thursday. And then on Friday, the football team will welcome Pendleton Heights to town. As Eastern scores again on that one, 5 to 3. Trista Rice back to serve. Here comes the serve, and off the net. And a point for Ole Miss. Returning to the Lady Indian lineup, number 14, Danielle Joseph. One of two sophomores on the varsity roster. Now Bolser will serve. She's a junior for Ole Miss. Five to 5. Bolser serving. Here's a spike. Bolser now set from Nicholson, and Joseph will score on that one. 6 to 5. Ole Miss taking the lead back. On the floor for Ole Miss is Bolser. She will serve. Then Hosier, Sands, Joseph, Watson, and Nicholson. Here's Bolser, the serve. And the point. 7 to 5. Set, spike, a block, and here's Hosier. Now Watson will knock it over the net, and it'll drop in for a Lady Indian point. 8 to 5. Again, with COVID-19 restrictions, only 25% capacity allowed in the bleachers. So we want to thank those of you tuned in, watching live from wherever you may be watching, supporting Eastern or Mississinewa. Either one we support. We appreciate your support of the Tribe Sports Network. 8-6. Here's Watson knocking it over the net. And Hosier near almost touched it and did damage for Ole Miss. But thankfully she didn't, and that's a point for the Lady Indians. It is 9-6. Ole Miss leads by 3. Here in set number 2, Eastern took set number 1, 26-24, and Nicholson serves and scores. Eleven to 6. Nicholson to serve again. Back-to-back serves, back-to-back points. Ole Miss crossed the line. That's a point for Eastern. Ole Miss looking much better here in set 2. They lead by 5, 12-7. Megan Stanley returns for Ole Miss. Daryl Watson back to serve. And again, while we have a minute, make sure and tweet your seat at MCSC Athletics and at Dalton Bishop 00. Again, thanks to Brooks Holloway. He's a terrible Yankees fan. With his Yankees mask on. So special thanks to him for making this all happen. Again, 2020 has been an odd year, but thankfully we're back to sports action. High school athletics is back and started, so here we go. And that's going to be an Eastern point. Twelve to 8. Ole Miss with the lead. It's Watson, Corey, the libero player, and then Stanley, Joseph, Nicholson, and Austin on the floor for Ole Miss. There's a point for Eastern as they are rallying back. 12 to 9. Here is number 1, McKenna Titus. She's the libero for the Comets. She will serve. Corey saves it. And now Watson. Watson with a nice dig, and this one's going to be over the heads of Ole Miss and scoring, and Watson comes up laughing after that one. Great hustle from Sophie Corey and Dara Watson. 12-10. Ole Miss with a 2-point lead. Here's Corey. Now Nicholson. And Austin will spike, and a save by Eastern. Twelve to 11. Ole Miss was up 12-8. And Eastern rallied back, and now Ole Miss coach Jody Havens wants a timeout. 12-11, Ole Miss leads by 1, but Eastern is rallying back here in set number 2. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back. Here's Stanley. This one's going to be out. We're tied at 12. And Joseph gets it over the net, and a score for Ole Miss. Tied at 13 here in set 2. (14-14). Katie Hosier set to return for Ole Miss. Mackenzie Austin will sit down. Here's Hosier. And a block up front from Bolser and Stanley. Mississinewa leads 15-14. There is Corey. And now Stanley almost dropped it in. And Bolser blocked that one. Now we're rallying back and forth again. Here we go. Stanley, Nicholson, Stanley. And looked like almost a near point for Ole Miss. And then Eastern battles back. Now Hosier. And this one goes out. (15-15). Sandlin will serve. And Hosier, Nicholson, Stanley, Nicholson, and now Bolser will knock it over the net. We're rallying back and forth again. Here's Stanley, set from Nicholson, and then Corey will knock it over the net. Boy, I'm telling you, they're battling back and forth. Who wants it the most? Ole Miss does, and they'll score on that one.
Lady.
16-15. Here's Sands, Hosier, now Watson. I'll tell you, been very impressed with this Eastern squad. They are very, very good. Eastern just doesn't go away. They keep battling. I'll tell you, I've really enjoyed watching this match because, like I said in the junior varsity match, every time Ole Miss would get some momentum, Eastern would battle back and spoil the party. But now Ole Miss has got something brewing right here. It's 18-15 in set number 2, and Eastern wants a timeout. 18-15 set number 2. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Gas City, Indiana, home of the Indians. Here in set 2, 18-15, and out goes this one. Ole Miss leads 19-15. Looking to pick up the set win here in set number 2. Sands to serve. There it is. The set and a spike and a near dig attempt from Sands. But Eastern will score on that one.
Returns for Eastern.
19-17, like I said, Eastern battling back. They are rallying. Here's Sands, Nicholson, and then Bolser knocks it over and trips over Nicholson. Now they're back up and going. Here's Sands, Hosier, and now Bolser knocks it over, and Ole Miss is going to score on that one. My goodness. 20-17, and now Carly Bolser will go back to serve. And I can tell these Lady Indians have bonded here pretty well because they are just having a ball right now. 20-17, and Sands about took one right off the face. And somehow they kept it going.
So Corey returns to line for the Lady
20-18.
Indians.
Back to serve, Laura Lee Evans. Nice save from Corey. And Danielle Joseph scores for Ole Miss. Mackenzie Austin up off the bench. Katie Hosier will take a break. It's nice having Austin and Carly Bolser because you have size when they're on the floor, and size is important when it comes to volleyball. You got them long arms up to block, and this one's going to be out and a point for Ole Miss, and it's 22-18. Ole Miss is inching closer to picking up a win here in set number 2. That would tie things up at 1 apiece. Here is the serve from Nicholson. Here's Corey, set from Nicholson, and then Austin just misinterpreted when she was going to spike, and the ball goes into the net, and it's 22-19. Nicholson will set it for Austin. This time she gets it. Ole Miss with a 3-point lead, 22-19. And looking for more. Here's Corey, set from Nicholson. Austin knocks it over the net. There is Evans to save it for the Comets. Now we're rallying back and forth. And this one going to be out. Sophie Corey was just inches away from touching that one, and if she would have did that, that would have been bad news for Ole Miss. That would have been 22-20. Now it's 23-19. Ole Miss to serve with Darrell Watson. Stanley there waiting. Here's a set from Nicholson, and now Austin the spike. A save for Titus. It's 23-20. Eastern just doesn't go away. They just aren't going away. Ole Miss needs to close it out right here. You can't let Eastern stick around. Titus, the serve. Here's Corey, Nicholson, Stanley. Here's Stanley to Nicholson, and now Austin ready to spike one up, and this one's blocked. Now Stanley blocked, and a point for Eastern. I'm telling you what, they just keep fighting. This Lady Comet team doesn't go away. Missy Maverick has got to be proud of her Lady Comets. 23-21, Titus the serve. Here's Watson, Nicholson, and now Stanley going to spike one up. Here's Corey. Nicholson will save it. She crossed over the line, and that's a point for Eastern, and it is now 23-22, and Jody Havens wants a timeout. Here in set number 2, things getting very interesting. Ole Miss leads 23-22. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. (23-22). And the serve. Here's Corey. Now a set from Nicholson, and Austin will spike and score for Ole Miss. 24-22. If Ole Miss can score here, they will pick up the set win and tie things up at 1 apiece. Eastern winning the last set 26-24. And now it's at the hands of Sophie Corey, and she will serve this one over the net. Here we go. Blocked from Bolser. Staying alive, and a dig, and a nice save from Corey. And a block for Bolser. Watson the dig, and then Bolser will save it over the net. Gotta love the effort. And Ole Miss will win off of a nice dig from Darrell Watson. That will take us into set number 3. Ole Miss wins set 2, 25-22. We're tied at 1. We're back in 1 minute. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School. Set number 3, Ole Miss going to start with a point. 1-0 Ole Miss. Corey, and now Bolser, keeping it alive for Ole Miss. So Ole Miss picking up the win in set number 2, and now they lead 2-1 here in set number 3. Again, this is the best of 5, so the first team to win 3 sets will be your winner. And the way this one's going, I can see this going to 5 sets. Here's Watson and a nice score. And timeout from Eastern. 4-1. Ole Miss at the lead. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Ole Miss as we are back out of the timeout here in set number 3. Ole Miss leading 5-1. Here is Sands. This one's going to be served a little too hard, and Sale out of play. Here's Corey now. Bolser, a nice little tip over the net. Watson. Well, I'll tell you what, Dara Watson has come to play these last 2 sets. Five to 3. Five to 5 now out of the timeout. Eastern fighting right back after being down 5-1. Now 6-5. Timeout Eastern. We're tied at 6 here in set number 3. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School here in set number 3. We're tied at 6 apiece. Eastern the winner of set 1, 26-24. Mississinewa the winner of set number 2, 25-22. And now we were tied at 6, and now 7-6 the lead. Eastern taking over. Eastern was down 5-1 and has now rallied back to take a 7-6 lead. Here's Hosier. Watson, a nice spike. But Eastern all over it. Now block, and Nicholson knocks it over the net. And now Ole Miss is going to score. Now we're tied at 7 again. This one's been back and forth. Nicholson to serve. Goes right into the net. Eight to 7. Ole Miss trailing by 2, 9-7. Now Austin tried to tip it over the net. Here is Corey. Now Watson rallying back and forth. Watson. Eastern just doesn't go away. Here's Austin again. And again a save from Eastern, but this time Ole Miss gets the better of the Lady Comets, and they will score and trim into the 2-point lead and make it 9-8. And the senior Dara Watson will go back to serve for Ole Miss. Watson to serve. Almost a near point there. Ole Miss ties it up. 9-9. Dara Watson has had a phenomenal game so far. She had a dig in that second set that I think is the deciding factor in Ole Miss winning it. Now Watson. Here's Stanley. Just not enough oomph under that one. It goes into the net. And Eastern takes back the lead, 10-9. Like I said, it's the best of 5. We're tied at 1 apiece. I can see this one going in to 5 sets. Nice save from Corey. Now Nicholson knocks it over the net. to 9. Eastern back up by 2. Nice spike and a score from Danielle Joseph. She will check out and Carly Bolser will check in. Sophie Corey back to serve. Here it comes. And Bolser will spike it off the hands of McKenna Titus and score. And we're tied now at 11. Back and forth we go like we have all night long. Here is Corey, the serve. And this one over in the far corner where there was no one standing. It's like, I like to use it, Ted Williams' baseball phrase. He always used to say, hit them where they ain't, and that's kind of what Eastern's been doing here. It's just been putting the ball where there is no Lady Indians. (13-11). I'm sure Coach Havens is about another point or two away, and she'll be calling a timeout here in just a second. I can see she's trying to get her girls back in line, and there's a serve into the net, and that'll help her case. So now Katie Hosier will rise up off the Indian bench and enter the lineup, and she will go back to serve. So Katie will serve it over the net. Watson gets it over and scores. Hosier serves, and this one drops in for an ace. We're tied at 14. Crossing over the line is going to be the call on that one, and Ole Miss will take the lead 15-14. And now the Lady Indians got a little bit of firepower. Can they keep it going? We will find out. Hosier to serve again. This one over the net. Here's a set and a spike on its way, and Hosier there. Now Daryl Watson, a spike and a score for Ole Miss. And again, just want to remind everyone, due to the COVID-19 restrictions, only 25% capacity allowed in the bleachers here tonight at Ole Miss. Face coverings on all the girls who are on the bench. The only ones not able to wear face coverings are the ones who are playing. And right there, Katie Hosier scores on an ace again. She's serving really well right now. 17-14 in a serve again. There's Hosier. Nicholson. There's Corey. Nicholson will set it for Bolser, who will slam it home and score on a spike. 18-14. Ole Miss was down 14-12, and they have scored 6 straight. So Hosier again. This one hits the net. That was a serve from Evans. Now Sandlin will set it, and a spike and a block for Carly Bolser. 19-15. Ole Miss looking to win back-to-back sets. Casey Sands returns and will go back to serve. And here comes the serve. Titus. Now a nice little floater over the net from Downing. Now they're scrambling to get it over the net. Now Corey will set it for Watson, who will spike it over the net. Right there was Titus to save it for the Lady Comets. Now Nicholson and Watson will spike, and I'm not sure what that call is. I need to learn the rules a little bit better. I'm not scared, to be honest with you. I need to learn the rules a little bit better and the terms of volleyball a little bit better. I'm working on it. I'm working. (19-17). Eastern not going away. Here comes the serve. There's the bump. And now a spike from Bolser. Now Watson, and a dig from Nicholson. Now Watson gets it back over the net. Eastern got to work for it. Right there's a point for Ole Miss. Carly Bolser going back to serve. It's 20-17, Ole Miss. (20-18). Ole Miss leading by 2 here in set number 3. There's a point for Ole Miss. 21-18. And Jazzy Nicholson will go back to serve. The spike. There was Watson waiting on it. Now Austin knocking it over the net. We're rallying back and forth. There's Corey. A set from Nicholson. (21-19). We're going back and forth here in set number 3. We've went back and forth in set 1, went back and forth in set 2, and we're doing the same here in set number 3. This one's out, and a point for Ole Miss. 22-19. And Megan Stanley returns from Mississinewa. Darrell Watson will go back to serve. (23-19). Watson the serve. Set. Austin the spike. There was Titus waiting on it. Now Corey, a set over the net from Nicholson. Now we're rallying. There was Watson waiting on that one. Here comes another set from Nicholson. Now Stanley. Boy, we're rallying now. Watson there again. (23-20). Here's the serve from Sandlin. Set, Nicholson. There's a block, now Austin. Here's a set. Stanley the spike into the net, and it's 23-21. Sandlin the serve. Nicholson, and now Austin, a spike into the net, 23-22. And a timeout for Coach Havens. Here in set number 3, it's Ole Miss 23, Eastern 22. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School. Set number 3, 23-22. Ole Miss by 1. Here's the serve. Nicholson. Into the net. Now we're tied. 23-23. And what a debacle we got here. 23-23, almost an ace. Stanley there to dig it. There's Austin, will set it to Stanley. Austin, spike, and scoring. 24-23. And Sophie Corey can end it on this serve here. Ole Miss can win back-to-back sets on a serve here from Sophie Corey. Corey is a junior. Can the junior win it here? Here's the serve. This one gonna be out. Oh no, they called it in. It's 24-24. I thought that one was out. 24-24, the serve. Watson, Nicholson, and now Stanley gets it over the net barely. Here's a set from Nicholson. Now Austin the spike and almost the near score. Now we're rallying, and this is going to be a score for Ole Miss. 25-24. You got to win by 2. Austin checks out. Katie Hosier checks in, and she's did a heck of a job serving tonight. Ole Miss was down, and Hosier brought them back. Now the serve. And a score here. We're knotted up at 25. This one's going back and forth. Neither team wanting to go down 2-1. Ole Miss trying to win their second consecutive set. Eastern trying to battle back after being down and losing the last one. Nice effort from Megan Stanley. Here's Hosier to Nicholson, and now a tip over the net from Bolster and a score by Ole Miss. So we shall try it again. 26-25, and Casey Sands returns to serve for Ole Miss. 26-25, Sands looking. Here we go. Sands eyes, flies, and sends it over the net. Here's a set and a spike. Now Corey there. Here comes a set from Nicholson, and here's a nice little tip over that from Watson. Corey. Now Bolser will spike it and score, and Ole Miss will win set number 3. 27-25. And they go up 2-1. So Ole Miss went down, losing the first set 26-24. They rally back, win the last 2 sets 25-22 and 27-25. Set number 4 comes up right after this 1-minute timeout. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School. Set number 4. If Ole Miss can win this one, they'll win the match. Hosier to serve. This one into that. 1-0 Eastern. Here's a nice tip over the net from Bolser. Watson. Now Nicholson. One to one. Sands serves. Two to one. Three to one Eastern here in set 4. Tied at 2. Here's Carly Bolser. So again, Ole Miss leads 2 to 1. We're tied at 2 in this set. Ole Miss lost the first set 26-24, came back and won the next two 25-22 and 27-25. And now they lead here 3 to 2 in set number 4. Ole Miss, if they win this one, will put Eastern away. And Bolser, the serve. High flyer over the net. Nicholson and now Watson will spike it and score. Four to 2. Four to 3. Ole Miss with a 1-point advantage here in set number 4. Now Ole Miss up 5-3. And Jazzy Nicholson to serve on that one. And a block from Mackenzie Austin and Danielle Joseph. Austin the spike as Ole Miss is up 6-3. Here is Watson. Now a rally back and forth, and Ole Miss goes up by 4, 7-3. All Ole Miss has to do is get to 15. I believe that's how this works. I'm not sure if it's the first to 15 or if that only applies in set 5. Anyway, a timeout. Ole Miss leads 7-3 here in set number 4. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Ole Miss. Out of the timeout, Nicholson to serve. Ole Miss leading by 4 at 7-3. Seven to 4. Here's the serve. Here's the set. Watson the spike. Ole Miss will score. They're up 8-4. I need to double check, and I need to figure out if Ole Miss has got to score 25 in set number 4 or 15, because I know in volleyball, I don't know if it's to win the 3rd set or if it's when you're in the 5th set, if you've got to get 15 to win. I'm going to double check that with Brooks Holloway, see if he knows. So again, we're not 100% sure. I think it's only in the 5th set where you got to get to 15. I still think Ole Miss has to get to 25 here, but I'm not 100% sure. But they score here on a Danielle Joseph spike, and it's 9-5, and Sophie Corey will go back to serve. Carly Bolser returns for Ole Miss. The spike, and it went into the net. Ole Miss goes up by 5 at 10-5. Ole Miss in cruise control right now. Here's Sophie Corey. Nice dig there for Watson. She saved it from being a Lady Comet point. But Eastern scores on that one, so it's going to be 10-6. Like I said, Coach, in the open, Coach Jody Havens and this Lady Indian volleyball team looking for a very good volleyball season. 16 regular season games, 3 invitationals, and the Grant Ford tournament. All to come still here in the 2020 volleyball season. We are at game 1, and Ole Miss up by 5 at 11-6. But so far, it looks like the Lady Indians could have a very promising season if they continue to play the way that they've played here in sets 2 and 3, and even now here in 4. (11 to 8). And the serve. There's Corey. A set from Stanley, and Bolser gets it over the net. Now Corey there. Now Stanley, a spike, and that's too far. It goes out. And Eastern. So now Eastern trails by 4, and Casey Sands to serve. Ole Miss not letting it get any closer than 4 here as of late, but now it's 3. Now that I put the announcer's jinx on the Lady Indians. They lead 12 to 9 here in set number 4. Ole Miss leads 2 to 1. Some of the Madison Grant Lady Argyle squad in the house scouting the Lady Indians, and I'm not quite sure if they play Eastern or not, but I know they do play Ole Miss, so some of the Lady Argyles in the house here to scout out the Ole Miss Lady Indians. And if they play Eastern, I'm sure they're scouting them as well. Bolser to serve. Ole Miss leading by 3 at 13 to 10. Here's Nicholson, the set. Now Watson will knock it over the net. This one will be in, and a score. And it'll be 14 to 10. Hosier. A set from Nicholson, and now Joseph's spike will be blocked at the line. And it'll be 14 to 11. Ole Miss leading by 3. Now Watson spike and a score. Daryl Watson having a phenomenal game here. I think if I had to choose a player of the game, it would probably be Daryl Watson. Obviously, we're not over yet. There could be some other stars, but right now, Daryl Watson having a phenomenal game for Ole Miss, as well as Katie Hosier. She has served the ball so well for Ole Miss here today. Ole Miss looking to start their season 1-0. Watson to serve. This one hits the net. I'll tell you what, it's been pretty enjoyable to watch this volleyball match tonight. Both of these teams, very competitive, very good volleyball teams, and I'll tell you what, the way that Coach Havens connects with her girls is like none other that I've ever seen, because even when they're struggling, they're still smiling and laughing and getting along. And I'll tell you what, Coach Havens has created a bond with her girls, and these girls have created a bond with each other that I haven't seen in quite some time. This is my 6th year broadcasting Lady Indians volleyball, and this is probably the best put together volleyball team as far as a bond that I've seen. (18-14). So I guess that answers our question. You got to get to 25 here in set number 4 to win. There's Corey, a set and a spike coming from Bolser, and the Lady Indians are going to score, and it's going to be 19-14 here in set number 4. Ole Miss looking to win their first match of the year and start the season outright at 1-0. Corey, the serve. Almost dropped in as an ace. There's Corey. Now a set from Nicholson and a spike coming from Bolser, almost a near score. There's Corey. Now Austin. And now Bolser will get it over the net. Now we're rallying back and forth. Here we go. Now Corey to Stanley. This one a little too hard, going to sail out. And that'll be a point for Eastern. (19-15). Corey. Here's a set from Nicholson, and now Stanley looking. Here comes the spike. Watson there to save it. Now Austin. Rallying back and forth. This one just too far out of reach for Megan Stanley, and it's 19-16. Here comes the Lady Comets. They've got some fire. They're getting something going. Here's the serve. Corey to Nicholson, and now Austin. This one's too strong, out of bounds. 19-17. Eastern chipping away, and there's the senior leadership of Dara Watson telling their teammates, let's go. Let's get it straightened out. There's a set, and now Watson will spike it, and this one will be in. And a score. 20-17. And Katie Hosier, who I talked about, has had a phenomenal game here this evening serving. She's back to serve. 20-17, and the serve from Hosier. She's who got the spark going in the second set. A spike and a score there for Eastern, and it's 20-18. I'll tell you, as Eastern got down by 5 early, but they have battled back and has trimmed this lead down to 2, and now they're in business. Spike and a score. 20-19. It's 20-19. Eastern rallying. (20-20), and Coach Havens wants a timeout. Ole Miss looking out of sorts after being up by 5. Now we're tied at 20 here in set number 4. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School. We're tied at 20. Set number 4. Ole Miss leads 2-1. If they win this set, they win it. If not, we go to set number 5. Here's a tip over the net from Bolser. Now Stanley there. Set. Here's Watson. Almost snuck it in there. Hosier. Now Darrell Watson there. Here's a set from Nicholson, and now Bolster knocks it over the net. We're rallying back and forth. Neither team wanting to give an inch. Here's a set and a tip over the net from Stanley. Now they're Eastern there to counteract and off the net, and they saved it, but Ole Miss going to get a point there. I'm telling you what, neither team wanted to give an inch right there. But for Ole Miss, they score. They go up by 1. Casey Sands back to serve. (22-21). Eastern has battled back to take the lead here in set number 4. Here's the serve. Hosier. Set from Nicholson. And now Corey gets it over the net. Here's a spike, and it's going to be 23-21. And another timeout from Coach Havens. 23-21. Eastern has rallied back to take the lead. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School, set number 4. Eastern leading 23-21, trying to even things up and go to the 5th and final set. Or can Ole Miss come back down by 2 and end this one? Here's Corey, a set and a spike and a score for Ole Miss. Darrell Watson again. 23-22. Carly Bolser to serve it up for Ole Miss. Here's the serve. Spike, Hosier there, set from Nicholson. Here comes a tip over the net from Watson. Almost dropped it in the hole. Now Hosier, Nicholson the set, and now Bolser the spike. We're rallying back and forth. Here's a dig from Nicholson, but just not enough on it. 24-22. Eastern knocking on the door to evening it up here. Here's the serve. Sands to Corey. And now they get it over the net. That was Joseph. And Eastern will rally back and take set number 4, 25-22. And we go to the 5th and final set. We'll do that in 1 minute. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back once again to Mississinewa High School in Friedenberger Court here in Gas City, Indiana, home of the Mississinewa Lady Indians, and what has been a phenomenal volleyball match here tonight between Eastern and Mississinewa. Eastern taking the first set 26-24. Mississinewa takes set number 2 25-22. Mississinewa again comes back and wins set number 3 27-25. In set 4, Ole Miss was up by 5. Eastern battled back and won set number 4 25-22. And that takes us to the 5th and final set. This set right here will determine who wins the match. This is the set we go to 15. The first to 15 will win. And I believe Eastern will start by serving. And they will. Back to serve will be number 34, Emma Sandlin. Here's the serve. There's Watson. A set from Hosier. Now Megan Stanley will knock it over the net. Hosier went over the center line. That'll be a point for Eastern. 1-0. There's Watson and a spike and a score. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to go ahead and name Dara Watson the player of the game. She has had a phenomenal game from the second set on. Here's Sands to serve. Two to one. And Eastern going up 3-1 here in the 5th and final set. Three to two. Megan Stanley back to serve. Nice dig from Sands, a set from Hosier, and a spike, almost a near score for Bolser. And Ole Miss will score anyway, and it'll be 3-3. Good to see Mississinewa Lady Indians basketball coach Laura Friday in the house to support the Lady Indians. 4-3. Ole Miss takes the lead here in set number 5. Coach Friday and Lady Indians, they had an outstanding girls basketball season a season ago, looking to build on that coming up this winter. And here's the serve from Megan Stanley. And they will score again. 5-3. Just when you thought Ole Miss was going away, here they come rallying back, and there's a timeout from Eastern. 5-3 here in set number 5. This one determines it all. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa. 5-3 here in the fifth and final set. Stanley the serve. This one going to be out. 5-4. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow night, the soccer teams, both boys and girls, will be in action. We'll be live on right here on the Tribe Sports Network. Coming up on Thursday, the tennis team will be in action. And then on Friday night, we kick off Friday Night Lights with Mississinewa welcoming in Pendleton Heights. Coach Kyle Bursch looking to get his first win as the head coach of the Mississinewa Indians. And Ole Miss scoring again. They lead 7-4 here in the fifth and final set. Carly Bolser back to serve. Can Ole Miss seal the deal here? Here's the serve from Bolser. A nice little floater just sneaking over the net. And Watson served too strong and sails out. And you can see the look on her face. She knew she had it. 7-5. Here's the set. And Stanley into the net. 7-6. Here's Hosier, sets it. And Joseph into the net. We're tied at 7 now. Ole Miss was up by 3. Now it's tied at 7. Remember, they were up by 5 in the last set, and Eastern rallied back to take the win. Can Mississinewa get themselves out of this? Somehow, the miscommunication there from Eastern. And Mississinewa wins that match there. It's 8-7, and now Katie Hosier will go back to serve. And what a great night again that she's had back serving for Ole Miss. Here it comes. The spike. And Corey missed it. It's 8-8. Here's the serve. Watson. Now Corey. And Joseph over the net. Here comes a spike. Now Hosier. Joseph going to hit the net. It's 9-8. Eastern taking the lead. 9-8. Here we go. The serve. There's Corey. Now Stanley. And Corey will get it over the net. And Ole Miss is going to score on that one. 9-9. And Darryl Watson going back to serve for Ole Miss. Here it comes, the serve, Watson. There's Corey waiting on it. Now Hosier. And then Stanley will get it over. Now we're rallying back and forth. The spike. Right there was Hosier waiting on it. Now Stanley, the spike. Neither team giving an inch. This one's going to be out. And Ole Miss goes up 10-9. 10-9, Darryl Watson. Here comes the serves, eyeing, flying, and soaring it over the net. Sophie Corey has had a great game as well, and then Mackenzie Austin knocks it in the net. Ten to 10. Checking in will be number 18, Shelby Rice. She will serve it. Here's Corey. A set from Hosier. And now Austin. There's Hosier. Now Austin. Watson. Hosier will set it. Now Watson the spike. And does almost near score. Watson the dig. Hosier. Stanley. Spike. Scoring. Neither team wanting to give up, but I'm telling you what, they are just flat getting after it. 11-10. And Sophie Corey back to serve for Ole Miss as the Lady Indians lead by 1. Here's the serve. The bump, the set, the spike, and the score for Eastern. Tied at 11. Sandlin back to serve it up for the Lady Comets. This one to Watson. Here's a set, and now Watson the spike and the score! (12-11). And now Casey Sands checks in. She will go back to serve. Here's Sands. The spike, and right on the line, and a point for Eastern. 12-12. The serve. The set, and now Stanley will get it over, but Eastern fights back somehow from that. Now Watson's spike will be in, and a point for Ole Miss. 13-12. Mississinewa has Eastern on their heels, and now Stanley to serve. And then Watson hits it out. 13-13. This one's going down to the wire. The 5th set going down to the end. The final set going to the final point. Watson gets it over. There's Sands. Now Hosier the set. And then Bolster the spike. Right there waiting on it was the Lady Comets. Now Hosier sets it, almost dropped it in. And Ole Miss gets it there. And if they can score right here, then they will win the match. 14-13 down to the final point. And now Bolster was back to serve in a timeout. Eastern, it's 14-13 in the final set. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School. 14-13, and at the hands of Carly Bolster, Mississinewa could win it right here. Here's a set, the spike. There's Bolster. This one over the net. Now Bolster saves it. The set, and here comes the spike. Right there was Sands. Now Hosier. And over the net, Joseph almost sealed the deal there. Here's the spike. Stanley there. Now a set from Hosier and a spike from Bolster. There's Sands. Hosier the set. Now Watson the spike. And the win for Ole Miss. Mississinewa wins the final set 15-13. And Daryl Watson does it right there. So the final score, Mississinewa wins it 3-2, and they improve, and they will start off their season 1-0. And they will be back in action on the road, I believe, on Wednesday, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But again, Mississinewa wins here tonight over Eastern 3-2 and improved to 1-0 on the year. We invite you to tune in to tomorrow night's soccer match and then see you on Friday night for Friday Night Lights between Mississinewa and Pendleton Heights. That does it for us here from Gas City. Mississinewa wins 3-2, and they are 1-0 to start the season. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you down the road. Good night from Gas City.